This conference will now be recorded.
So it's a reminder of what's done.
I don't know. Good evening. We will call this zoning board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Long.
Here.
Coopy.
Here.
Bayer. Here. Lapsley. Here. McClanahan. Vaughn. Alternate Bresnahan.
Here.
Chairman Russell.
Here. Thank you. Okay, the zoning board conducts a public hearing to take sworn or affirmed testimony from all interested parties, both supporters and objectors on each case appearing before the board tonight. This is the only opportunity you will have to present testimony in opposition or support of the petitions. Only those interested parties that have submitted notice 24 hours prior to tonight's meeting are allowed to cross-examine the petitioner. This is an opportunity to only question the petitioner and not make statements or offer personal testimony. Upon final questioning, the interested parties may then make their closing statements. Others appearing before the board tonight and wishing to speak must fill out a form located on the table in the back of the room and either turn it in to Jackie or Melissa, and you are allowed to make statements only. You cannot ask questions. Groups that oppose a petitioner's request are asked to appoint a spokesperson to speak for the group in order to avoid repetitious testimony and save time. Repetitious and off-the-subject testimony may be ruled out of order. Please refrain from repeating and be as factual as possible. Now, following the public portion of tonight's hearing, the zoning board will enter into deliberations where they make a finding of fact based upon a variety of different considerations. The board is not bound by strict rules of evidence, and it may exclude irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or repetitious testimony. The zoning board does consider the following when deliberating on all cases. 1, the county zoning ordinance. 2, the county comprehensive plan. 3, the county land use plan. 4, local municipalities comprehensive plans. 5, the public benefit. And 6, the best interest of the county. For Class B variances and special use requests, the zoning board has final authority on those cases unless there is a lack of 4 concurring votes. For Class A variances and special uses, rezoning and code amendments, the zoning board only makes a recommendation to the county board, and the county board meets the 4th Wednesday of the month. For Class A variances, special uses, rezoning, and code amendments, the Land Use Committee will also review those cases and make a recommendation to the county board. And the Land Use Committee meets the 2nd Tuesday of every month. For Class A variances, special use, rezoning, and code amendments, the county board has final authority on those cases. Okay, introductions tonight. I'm Dwayne Lesson, Chairman. Jackie's our Community Development Administrator. Matt's our Assistant State's Attorney. Gabe is our Tri-County Planner, and Melissa is our Administrative Assistant. We don't have a recorder tonight. It's being filmed. In the first row is the zoning board members. In the second row is the land use committee members. And does anybody have any questions before we start? Okay, I need to ask one more thing. Is there any public comment on matters or items that are not listed on tonight's agenda? Now is the opportunity for public comments on any items or matters not listed on tonight's agenda. Okay, zoning board members, you either received an email with last month's minutes or they were sent to you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting? Marlon moves. Second by Bresnahan. Any discussion or concerns or items to be noted? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. All opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, do we need to do anything for the, oh, we already did. Okay. Okay, our first case tonight is 23-40-S. And how do I pronounce it? Irana, I'm sorry, or Michael Vasquez, is requesting a special use to allow for no more than 6 chickens on a lot of 2 acres or less located in an R1 low density residential district. This is a Class B case, so the zoning board will have final approval. Okay, name and address, please, for the record.
It's Irina Vasquez.
Irina, okay.
11 Scarborough Drive in Mexico, 675.
Oh, okay. I'll have you do it again.
Irina Vasquez, and it's 11 Scarborough Drive in Mexico, 675.
And do you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self of God?
I swear.
Okay, the reports for the night, the chicken coop front shall not be placed over the septic system. That's from the health department. The Tazewell County Soil and Water had no comment, and Farm Bureau had no comment. Tazewell County Highway Department and the Village of Mackinac both made no comment. And the Mackinac Township Road Commissioner had no comment. And so we have some findings of facts. I don't know where our microphones all went tonight.
Considerations for this case are that chicken fowl are a permitted special use within R1 districts. Properties are less than 2 acres can have a maximum of six chickens. The subject property is approximately 1.5 acres. So with those considerations, The findings of fact being 10 positives and 3 non-applicables. There is 1 negative according to site plan. Location of chicken coop is in the side yard. According to Tazewell County zoning code, the chicken coop must reside in the backyard. I recommend the proposed special use to allow no more than 6 chickens in R1 district be approved only on the condition of the chicken coop be relocated to the backyard.
Okay, thank you. And then I think we have some video.
This is case number 23-1, petition by Michael Vasquez. Request for special use to allow 6 chickens in our district. A, special solid. Right, shed is proposed location. Chicken coop. The stretch is east on Scarborough Drive, which runs to the east. The stretch is north, which runs to the north. The stretch is west, Scarborough, which runs to the west.
Okay, thank you. Okay, why don't you explain your request tonight?
I'd like to have chickens. We have an A-frame chicken coop. They can be moved. It has wheels and it has so we can move it to the backyard. There's no problem. And no roosters.
Okay, so it's a portable one that every day or two you move.
You can, if
Okay.
you want to. Yeah, so they get a fresh grass if we don't put them
Okay. In the video there, though, where I'm going to call it the garden shed was,
Yeah.
is that the side you had anticipated putting it on according to Exhibit A?
behind it, not in the front, but in the back. Yes.
Okay, behind the
Yes,
garden shed.
yeah.
But it looked like there was a pretty good row of trees there.
Yeah, but there's plenty of space.
Okay, but there's a boundary or a buffer between you and a neighboring property, or?
Yeah, there is another lot that's vacant between,
Where those trees are.
and it's a special, purpose lot, so it can be never built on because it has a drainage system that goes into the creek and stuff, so. So there's a whole lot between us.
If you guys look at Exhibit B, you can see that, all those trees there. And the petitioner has indicated that's a special purpose lot. Was that set up by the homeowners association or something?
I believe it's a part of the, like, association. It's actually for sale every year. Well, you can only buy it to be considered as a member, so you get a membership, but you never can build on it, so.
Okay,
I would assume that's why it's.
nobody bids
not-
on it.
Yep, not being.
Okay, board members, questions? Land use? Okay, do you have any closing comments?
No roosters. Ever.
Correct,
Yep,
correct. That's the code.
yep.
Okay, thank you. You're excused. Okay, our next case is 2347S, Lamar Martin, requesting a special use to allow the operation of an ag-related business for the purpose of selling skid steer attachments and other farm equipment from an existing structure in an A1 district. This is a Class B case, and so the zoning board will have final approval unless there's a lack of four concurring votes. Okay, name and address, please.
Lamar Martin, I live 26342 Fowler Road, Delaware, Illinois, 61734.
And do you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Health Department, if public restrooms are provided, then a private sewage disposal system is gonna be required. Soil and Water and Farm Bureau had no comment. Tazewell County Highway Department had no comment. Boynton Township Road Commissioner had no comment. And this is a special use, so we've got some findings of facts.
Operation of considerations were operation of agriculturally related business is a permitted special use within the A1 district. The business will be operating from an existing structure on the property. The proposed special use is a compatible use within the A1 district and fits the context of the general area of the property in question. These factors, along with findings of fact and total positives, two not applicable, I recommend the special use to allow the operation within the A1 district.
Okay, thank you. And we've got some video.
This is case number 23-47-S, petition by Lamar Martin. Request for special use to allow the operation of ag business in the A1 district. Premises A, stretch south, location of the ag business. Proposed ag business. The structure is east on Woodlock Road. This direction to the north, the nearest residence to the north. Direction west on Fowler Road.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Lamar, why don't you explain your request?
I am requesting special use permit, so. Wraps it up.
Okay, is exhibit B part of this 80 acres? Or is this even 80? That might only be a 40. Oh, 10. So this site is actually 10, or this tract is actually 10? Okay. Oh, I see. Right there. Okay, board members, exhibit B, the building site and lot is located in the northwest corner of that tract on exhibit C. You can see there's kind of some dirt moved or something there on exhibit C. So, okay, it looks like from this photo and from the video we saw that the lot where the equipment is like white rock. Okay. And the health department said if there are public restrooms, there needs to be a private sewage disposal. Is there any laterals or anything on this side around this property?
No, there is no restroom.
Okay. Is there water on this track? Okay. Okay, so what's the traffic, the business traffic like? How do they contact you or say they're interested or?
I advertise on Facebook Marketplace mainly,
Okay,
Craigslist.
okay, so it's online, and then I'm assuming some people want to come and look at stuff and before they actually purchase it.
Yeah, it's a lot of that.
Okay, so it's not like there's a constant stream of traffic,
No, I would say on the average maybe a dozen people a week.
dozen a week. Okay, and they're just there for a short time.
Right.
So
Usually
they either go to the bathroom before they come to the bathroom. Okay. Okay, questions, board members? Yes, ladies?
Video, there's a house directly across the street. Was that on the video? Was there something else across the street?
Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking of looking at. So, then, said, hey, but the place looks nice now. It looked nice in the video and stuff like that. It always makes a person nervous. If I don't, it's kind of open. You said skidster stuff, okay, that's not nice and they're all nice put out. Somebody put ag equipment, well, you don't want to try this line, you want to sell that. I'm sure it'll be fine, but sometimes it always scares us that it could get kind of messy. But that's you across the street, I don't see that kind of stuff. So I guess it seems a bit loose, but yet it's actually there's this snack area, stuff like that's not. I guess I didn't see the reasons for the street or anything like that, but I guess I'm just nervous that it could get bigger. I mean, I'm not sure how big it can get. Stuff and or labor from here and stuff.
Okay, let's ask him, because the request says for the purpose of selling skid steer attachments, and we all know that skid steer's got a multitude of attachments now, and other farm equipment. So what's kind of a general idea of the stuff that you handle?
So every once in a while we'll get a tractor in, we'll repair it, resell it. We usually buy a couple balers every year and use them throughout the year and then resell them before winter. Utility tractor attachments is something we get into with smaller utility tractors.
Loaders and blades and that type of thing?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, combines start and 30 and 40-foot platforms start taking up a lot of space.
Right.
And so we always like to see businesses expand, but what's kind of your intent, I guess?
We're not really interested in getting the bigger side of things. A lot of implement dealers, there's probably like 5 or 6 within like 10 miles of us. So we're not really interested in that side of things. We see a need for skid steer attachments in the area, and it's going really well.
And the smaller type add-on things.
Right.
Okay. And you've indicated a lot of the equipment is, you repair it or you find something, use it, tweak it to get it better. Are there contracts with some of these short line companies, or you're pretty much on your own?
We do have we have like 5 dealerships, but there's no contract set up. Kind of just our thing out there.
Okay, because I think what maybe he was getting to is some of these, all of a sudden they'll say, well, you're going to have to sell 20 next month, otherwise we're not going to do business with you. Some of these companies. So
yeah, no, we haven't had an issue with that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess similar, what's the site and stuff like that? Is that all the bigger it could be, or can it be separate? I think the customer is saying it's only going to be so big because has so much stuff. So I mean, what's the anticipation how big? I guess I'm asking. Zoning plan, is there a limit on his application, how big it can be before he has to come back?
The ZBA would have to condition it that way, the approvals for the full-time users.
Yeah, that's what the request is for the parcel size of 10 acres. Okay, other questions? Yes.
So I know you said sales. Are you doing servicing, repair equipment also?
No. The only things we repair is what we own. We do not work on other people's equipment.
How about parts sales?
Yeah, we offer parts for the attachments we sell.
Yeah, but then that gets into fluid handling and everything else. If you start, changing oil and hydraulics. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How about salvage stuff that's been burned, things of nature, not gonna be taking anything like that on out there?
No, we have not get into it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lamar, how long you been in, I'll just ask you a couple of questions so you can answer them any way you want. So how long you been in business? Is this an expansion or just a relocation? If it's an expansion, I think you handled that with Mr. Sin. I wondered if you, even though the petition said the whole footprint, would you be willing to do less, or do you want the whole thing? Is that what your request is currently? And I just want to say, in an observation, that zoning is a funny thing. Economic development wise, we want you to be as big and successful and make as much money and employ as many people as possible because it helps Tazewell County. On the other hand, neighbors sometimes care about how big you get and the noise you make and the garbage you make. You get the idea. So it's a balance. So that's the nature of my inquiry. Thanks, Lamar.
Yeah, so we've been in business about 3 years now. What's your other questions?
Is it just
Are you expanding with your current footprint, or are you simply relocating from point A to point B?
I mean, this is just where we started. So it's probably been 2.5 years ago that we started.
So, what about the whole 10?
No, we don't need the whole 10. I mean, I don't even need an acre there, really.
okay? I think what he's asking is if this business does grow, you did. We like to see the white rock. We don't want equipment parked out in the back dirt, and then somebody comes to look at it and they get led back on the road and stuff. And 10 acres of white rock is a lot. And so, but we don't want to limit it to just say, well, whatever you've got now, because if they come out with a new line of equipment and you need to add another 25 foot of white rock, whatever the width of your lot is, we don't want to stifle that. And so, correct me if I'm wrong. You're interested in the business growing as long as it makes money, but you're not interested in getting into big equipment lot. Is that kind of a balance?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Board members, land use? Okay. Now is your opportunity for any closing comments.
I don't think I got anything in mind.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, okay. Our next case is 2349S, Madison Bollinger. requesting a special use to allow for no more than 6 chickens on a lot less than 2 acres located in an R1 low-density residential district. This is a Class B case, so the zoning board has final approval. Is Madison here? Yep. Name and address for the record, please.
Madison Bollinger, 2221 Mayflower Drive, Pekin, Illinois, 614.
And do you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, health department indicates the chicken coop shall not be placed over the septic system. Soil, water, and farm bureau had no comment. Tazewell County Highway Department and Elm Grove Road Commissioner had no comment. And this is a special use, so Gabe has some findings of facts for us.
Considerations for this case are chicken coop shall be kept for personal use only and shall be contained within a foreclosure run at all times. Properties up to 2 acres are allowed a maximum of 6 chickens, and the subject property is less the size of the property in question is within the range of to accommodate a maximum of 6 chickens. The location of the coop is also situated where the coop will have minimal visual impacts. These factors, along with findings of fact being 11 positives, are not applicable. I recommend special use to allow more than 6 chickens in our own district.
Okay, thank you. Video.
This case number 23-89 Jackson Hess, petition by Madison Bollinger. Requesting a special use to allow chickens in our own district from Exhibit A, stretches south. This is the proposed location of the chickens. Shed in the back, right? This direction is east, here's residence to east, Mayflower, corner Mayflower. This direction is north, here's residence to north. And this direction west on Mayflower, here's residence to west.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Madison, why don't you explain the request?
We would just like to keep our 2 chickens that I have had for 1 year.
Okay. And this shed along the line is further in?
Yes,
Okay.
and that is the actual inside as well.
Yes, Exhibit B shows the inside of the chicken coop.
So we wanted them to have an indoor outdoor area where they could come in and out. I say please based off of the weather, since chickens are sensitive to the heat and the cold. And also something that would help us store some of our items since we didn't have a shed in our yard.
Okay, so is there a fence to the back of the shed or?
Yeah, I actually have pictures of that as well. So here, I don't know if you want to pass this around. It is, I think 6 foot by 4, and it's tall enough for us to stand inside. So the chickens have a whole outdoor enclosure as well.
Okay, Jackie's gonna keep this in her file, but board members, if you look at Exhibit B, there's a chicken with that light
That's the
square
door.
behind it.
Yep.
That's the door that they go out of, and then they have like a, I'm gonna call it a dog kennel style cage with a tarp over the top for their outdoor run. It looks very professional. So if anybody specifically wants to see it, we'll pass it. But, okay, and the septic's nowhere near this.
No, I actually
Oh,
have.
I see,
Yep.
yes, we're directly behind that. Okay, board members, questions? Land use? Okay, so the request is for no more than 6 chickens. You indicated 2.
Yeah, I don't, for a family of 4, so we don't need that many. We're not selling eggs or breeding them. They're actually pets.
Okay,
Yeah, we really love them.
okay, other questions? Okay, any closing comments?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think that yes, yes. Randy Lipton, do you want to speak? Okay, thank you. Now's your opportunity for closing comments.
I don't think I do.
Okay, other than please let me keep my chickens.
Mhm.
Okay, you're excused, thank you. Okay, our next case is a variance, 23-50-B. Shannon Wynn is requesting a variance to allow for the construction of a 10-foot privacy fence beyond the building setback line, which is 4 foot taller than what's allowed in an R1 low-density residential district. And this is a Class B case, so zoning board has final authority. So, name and address, please.
Dan Wynn, 11523 off Sub Road, Manitoba, Illinois, 61546.
And you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Sure.
Okay, our reports, health department, septic system should be flagged or marked so it is not driven over during construction. Soil and water in the Farm Bureau had no comment. The Tazewell County Highway Department and Spring Lake Township Road Commissioner had no comment. And so this is a variance, so we don't have any findings of fact. So Melissa will get us the video here in just a minute.
This is case number 23-50-B. Request for restrictions north, dwelling on the property, application fence, proposed fence, distractions west, presence to the west, off subdivision road, south, and distractions east on off subdivision road, nearest residence just to the east.
Okay, why don't you explain your request?
My house right there, right straight down the driveway there, is real close to a neighbor's house. And we got 3 kids and they throw balls and stuff and need a little bit more privacy. That way it doesn't go on to other people, disturb them and interrupt with any wildlife or anything that he has going on over there. It's pretty much something.
Okay, so it looks like on Exhibit A, you want to build approximately 150 foot. It's back to the edge of the house, from the road to the edge of the house.
Roughly, yes.
Okay, and how close to the road would you start?
It's about 20 feet.
Okay, 20 feet back from the road.
Yep.
And, what type of fence?
Metal. Kind of like siding, like the,
Okay, you need to give me a better
just
description.
like you would put on your roof, real pretty.
Okay. Okay, so it'll be a solid fence.
Yep.
Okay. 6 foot tall,
10.
10 foot tall.
Yes.
Okay, I see. 6 foot is too short and your family wants to keep their baseballs and stuff on their side of the fence.
Yeah, I got some sports players back here.
Okay. Okay, board members, questions?
I think I heard you say you're going to use metal panels that are 10 feet tall, basically roofing panels, is that correct?
Yeah, I got some that's a lot thicker, real pretty color.
What are you going to use for a frame to hold all that?
Post, wooden post, with stringers across it,
And how big a post?
either 4x4 or 6x6.
And then, see what's the proper term, girths, I think there's horizontal members that you use in construction, studs, girths. They're going to be 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s.
Yeah, 2x4.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Land use? Yes.
I just wanted to come back and
Microphone.
oh, sorry. I just wanted to come back and let us know when either one of the boys is able to hit that ball over that 10 fence.
Right over there, Ken. I promise you that one. He's good.
Okay, other questions? What are these like? Typically they come in either 32 or 36 inch width
3
panels,
foot, yep, 3 foot.
36 inch panels. Okay. And I'm going to call them like a 3 rib or a 5 rib or
5 rib.
5 rib type thing. And you said nice colors. Is it going to be a whole bunch of different colors or all one color?
No, all one.
Okay. Okay. Okay, other questions? Okay, we've got another individual that would like to speak, Brian Paulson. Byron. You're not done yet. Is Byron Paulson here? Okay, this microphone over here, please. Name and address.
My name is Byron Paulson. I live at 11540 Subway. Man.
And do you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so you filed your paperwork ahead of time. So what we usually do is give you a short time for opening comments. And then the board members can ask questions of you, the land use can ask questions of you, the petitioner can ask questions, and you can ask questions of the petitioner, but I'm going to coordinate all that. So, opening comments.
So my concern is as to where the fence was built. I had a survey done in 2006, and the winds had a pin set in February 13, 2023. The property line is in dispute. The winds moved in 2022 in January, I believe. They had a pin set on February 13th, 2022. 2023. Their pins matched near the road and the lake, but off by approximately 18 inches at the midpoint of the top of the bluff. They removed part of my fence and were arrested for that on March 18th, 2023, and convicted of criminal damage to property on June 6, 2023. And I have evidence that multiple police.
Okay, our case tonight is whether they can build a fence. So, your first statement is appropriate because there's a dispute over the property line, but the rest of it is irrelevant to the case tonight.
Okay, my apologies. So in summary, I'm opposed to a 10-foot tall fence, and from deviation of the regular county regulations regarding fencing in this situation. The reasons it'll block light to my flowers and shrubs. It'll block airflow as my house sits approximately 25 feet from the property line. It will reach a 10-foot tall, and a fence extending beyond what is normally allowed will reduce my property value. It potentially will reduce my visibility for my property that I went in front of. So I'm on two sides of them, basically to the north and to the east. So that is one of my concerns, and after what I'm having heard tonight, I'm concerned about the works of a metal fence. So
Okay, go ahead if you have more.
yeah, if allowed to extend beyond the normal county regulations, it would block the view of my parking area that I own. So, and for the record, if I could, I'd like to state that in precedent.
Okay, he is addressing the board, not the petitioner. Okay, so you're okay with a 6-foot fence, because that's what the code says he can build.
Yes, as long as it follows the code. My understanding is that there are restrictions on how far south fence can go according to the code. Like you can't take the solid fence all the way to the property.
We would have to check the exact code for that, but, so your major objection is that it's 10 foot, not 6 foot.
Yes, and my concern is as to where it's going to set.
Okay, but if he sets it on his property, why is that your concern?
According to who? His property, according to who? According to the 2006 survey that was done by a licensed surveyor, or by the pin he had set, and his claim of that's my property. That's my point. If he wants to set this fence according to the 2006 survey, and set it back in his property according to that, I have no issues.
Okay, so it appears, and we have no jurisdiction over this, there's a discrepancy between a 2006 survey and a 2023 survey. Because I have a 2023 survey right here in my hand. And so evidently that's, and zoning can't correct that. Okay, I'm not sure how that gets corrected, but okay, let's,
I do have a copy of the 2006 survey.
if it's presented, it will be kept.
That's fine.
Okay. And this is of your property.
The yellow highlighted things are what this will show it better probably.
Okay.
The yellow is where I own adjacent to the winds. I own more property than that, but that is the property lines that are adjacent to them.
Okay, board members, questions for Mr. Polson? Yes.
I have a couple of questions. Where to the north do you own from this property?
I don't know if they can pull it up. So this is their house, that's my house. So if you call that the north line, I own all that line. I also own with lot 2 subdivision. This line makes sense around somewhere here. Here.
And that's south, that plane you're pointing at.
Yeah, I believe it's 80.
Yeah. Okay. So his driveway goes through your property.
That is correct. And he does have right of ingress and egress to the driveway and to the township road.
Okay, so where the cul-de-sac road, that was all township.
The paved road, whatever that. The paved road, there isn't a cul-de-sac.
Okay, well, let's get back to the previous screen. Oh, that's just the circle drive for that house on the
Yeah,
corner.
that's Circle Drive. If you look, this is the approximate property line.
Yes.
So I actually own from the road, I actually own, say, I don't know what the exact.
Okay.
There's 25 feet from the road for their property, so.
Okay. Okay. Other questions, Sean?
Yes, yes, and then tell me, why does it block your view? You mentioned it a while ago. You said the fence blocked your view. Explain.
If they extend it, depending on how far they extend it, I think I believe, I understand correctly, they're asking for a variance to extend it clear to the corner of their property, which my understanding is not allowed for south fence. I park equipment over here at times, vehicles, and I own that parking area, that's gravel parking lot, and I own that, and it would block my view for security reasons, for that area.
Although Shannon didn't write it on here, he did mention he was going to bring it back 20 feet from the edge of his property. And that would look like to me it'd be quite a ways in from where you're driving. I don't know exactly how far it is, doesn't say, but so it's not, his explanation, it's not going to come in close to the driving area of the plane.
Maybe I misunderstood from his comments. I've asked him to clarify that. I thought when he spoke, he stated he was going to bring it back from the road, not from his property. So I asked for clarification.
Any other questions for Mr. Polson? Yes, land use.
Thank you, Chairman. So boundary disagreements are always touchy when it comes to zoning and land use. It becomes a whole lot more touchier when somebody wants to put a fence up, obviously. And I've had a little experience with this stuff. You got two ways to handle it. One way is you can spend about $1,000. If 18 inches is the variance, the worst part. In other words, you're sort of aligned at two different spots, but 18 inches is the worst. Matt, don't listen to this. You're going to spend probably $1,000 per inch with attorney's fees to try to negotiate that, which would be stupid. So the other way is to sit down with the petitioner, Mr. Paulson, and come to some reasonable accommodation that you can both live with without spending a lot of money with lawyers. My question to you is that at all a possible thing? You guys are the neighbors, not me. So I don't know how well you know each other, but is that a possibility? Because that would really help. It doesn't solve all problems, but it certainly would solve where the boundary is.
It is a good question. One thing that I would mention is that part of this sidewalk and retaining walls. And this is when the approachment sometimes will possibly grand swapping that area of the sidewalk and that open to that. So yes, I would listen, but for the record, I've lived there almost 28 years, not issues. So this depends.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think it would be inappropriate to your rules if I asked the petitioner, but I will wait, and when that's time to do that, I will ask a similar question to him, like I did Mr. Polson. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, with this test by Jackie, is there an answer to how far back the solid fence needs to be from the road?
So in this case, because it's simply an easement, the drive is solely located on Mr. Paulson's, we would look at it's 50 feet from the center line of the road or 25 feet from the edge of right of way, whichever is greater. So we would look at the edge of the property and consider that building setback line to be 25 feet in from the front property line of Mr. Winston.
So on exhibit B, that would be red line back 25 feet, not the road 25 feet?
Correct. The red line is the front property line, but in addition to increasing their height, I believe they're hoping to encroach into the building setback line, so that 25 feet.
Mr. Paulson, you are to this, that's your driveway to the right of that orange line.
This my my
Yeah, I think some things would encroach on viewability on that, but especially the higher. I guess I see. Okay, understand. I just think a 10-foot would encroach on the site. So I wish there was a way to make someone a visible part of the fence to see through, so he would have vision. And given the point was solid, to give the privacy for both parties and stuff. So
Any other questions for Mr. Polson from the board for land use? Okay, if I understood right, another one of your objections was the metal fence, not only the height of it. Would a wood slat solid fence be more preferable?
yeah, I believe so.
As long as it was no taller than 6 foot. Is that, I'm not putting words in your mouth, I need a yes or no.
Yes, as long as it's not taller than 6 foot.
And you understand that he could build one 25 feet back from the front property line. He could start there and go back to where the house was, the front of the house is.
And for clarification, it's solid starting at that point. Okay.
Yes. Because that's what he's asking for.
I still believe, I am concerned that potentially block might do with my property. Plus, they're being solid.
Okay, and so tell us why you need to keep an eye on the property across the road. So,
Because, Mr. Lynn has caused damage to the property by going into the comments about
okay. Okay, this is our process, and so the next segment of this process is, do you have any specific questions for Mr. Wynn?
No, sir, there's the rest.
Okay?
Right.
Mr. Wynn, do you have any specific questions for Mr. Paulson?
No, sir.
Okay? Board members, land use, last chance for questions for Mr. Paulson. Yes.
Well, I'm going to ask that question that I promised I'd ask of the petitioner, but before I do, I'm going to say something. I don't have a vote on ZBA. And because this is this variance going to come to the land use or it stays here? Stays here. So that's real good. So I can just be candid. If I were a zoning board of appeals member, I would continue this case and I would send you two back to sit down and review the type of fence and the boundary line and the beginning point of the division part. In other words, the three areas of contention. And I would ask you to come back whenever, at the next meeting, hopefully, and be close to the same page. That's what I would ask. And I would have an admonition also. The degree to which you can't do that could cause both of you to not get what you want in what the ZBA eventually does. So that's just common sense. That's not really any special zoning process. It's just called negotiation and communication. But I'm not on the ZBA, but that's what I would strongly recommend. I get a sense that you two aren't best friends, and that's fine. You don't have to be best friends. But I think it would be better for both of you in this case if you would sort of sit down and work this out. Thanks.
Okay? Yes.
I guess it was on when the video first started.
Okay.
Was there a fence, an old fence in the tree line?
Okay, let's, Melissa, let's go back to.
This is case number 23-50-E. That's one on the right side. But you're wanting to go on the left side, correct? Of that video. All right. Wasn't that a fence right there?
Yes.
That fence right there, that's not supposed to be there. Yes, it's gonna be right where that's at. Exactly where that is, on my land. That's where the other person's property is.
So how long has that fence been?
Since August of last year, without,
Okay. Yeah, that was never brought up on the discussion. I thought I seen fence, but I wasn't quite sure how old.
that's not mine.
Okay.
There's a picture right there, you can see it, right?
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, other questions? Okay, now is your opportunity for any closing comments.
Okay. I would just like to explain that fence was put in after my trellis was removed, my lots were cut down. I was requested a temporary permit from the county, which I received, and installed that fence. And then after they had finished that, they moved toward that fence. I had also applied for that fence to be permanent. So the statement that it's not supposed to be there, and that it's not legal, is not correct.
Okay, closing comments?
I don't think I have anything further to say.
Okay, you're excused. Okay, now we're back to you, Mr. Wynn. Questions?
Mr. Wynn, you know, my questions are gonna be, you've already heard them. I just wanna know, is there any way that you can suck it up and meet with Mr. Paulson and try to come to some temporary conclusion that, I'd say temporary, and that you don't have to get married, but on this issue, so that you can move forward and you both can enjoy your homes and the privacy and the neighborhood and all the other things that you enjoy. That would be what I would think.
That would have been great. That's what we did from the start. We tried that. Didn't work. I don't mind that. Talk to all the neighbors. They're right here. I'll give this to him. You guys can put it whatever you need to. A couple more pictures of that, why I want the 10-foot fence, because there's camera pointed directly towards my house. For no purpose, no birds, no nothing over there towards my front door. These are 4 out of the 8 neighbors that highly approve any fence that I asked for. I talked to them all. I would have loved to. You know, that's the way I was raised to be nice to everybody on Southern Park. But it did not work. And all these neighbors can confirm everything that I've said here tonight. I'm not in here to bicker back and forth. They did that. I've been in jail for all the wrong reasons, and that's nothing to do with here. That's something different. But I got all the documentations. The survey I got is a legit survey that was done back in 1941. That's not a new survey. It's off the original survey that's on the man that was in here's post. Original survey, 1941. There's no difference in that. Midwest survey, right here local. He said if I needed anything else, he'd be glad to come down and explain it all. The pins are right there. I had 3 extra ones put in to make sure I knew where my land was at. That way I could ask you all for a privacy fence, not just for my boys, but for privacy, you know. And that's mainly why I'm here. I've got all the documentation that anything that you all might need. Clear back to when this place was originally divided, way before all of our times. I don't know what else to say other than whatever you need, I'll be glad to get it for you.
I just think that 6 might be too short for your baseball boys, but 10 probably way too high. So in between, there's negotiations. And I encourage you to do that with all 3 of those issues, not just mine. Thanks.
Okay, board members, land use, other questions for Mr. Wynn? Okay, now is your opportunity for any closing comments.
I have to tell you, that's their phone numbers, addresses. I've talked to all of them. And it did say in this paper that I got from you all, it said something about didn't have no documentation on the septic, which it is. It's on the complete side of the property. Permit 16470. In case you don't need that. But yeah, I'm looking for privacy. The other person wants the privacy. It's all documented at the courthouse that he wanted it through all the stock orders that have been put on the deed. So I don't understand why the back and forth. It shouldn't be not a problem. put a fence put up, that way he don't have to worry about none of my kids' balls and frisbees and bats and everything else they lost that you cannot get back. That's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Okay, our next case is 2352B, the petitioner Adams requesting a variance to waive paragraph 157.15 to allow the construction of an addition to the dwelling, which will be an attached carport, to be 46 feet from the center line of Huntingburg Lane, which is 4 feet closer than what's allowed in an R1 residential district. Okay, name and address.
Paul Adams, 311 Whippoorwill, Washington, 11551.
And you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, the reports. This is Class B, so zoning has final authority. Health Department and Soil and Water have no comments. Farm Bureau, Tazewell County Highway Department, and Washington Township Road Commissioner had no comments. And John Oliphant, the City of Washington, had no comments. This is a variance, so we don't have any findings of facts. And so we'll look at the video.
This is case number 23-52-E, petition by Paul Adams, request for a variance to allow for construction of addition to be closer than allowed in R1 district. Exhibit A, this direction is south. This is the proposed addition or addition. This direction is east on Whippoorwill. Here's residence to the east. This direction is north. Here's residence to the north. And this direction is west. Whippoorwill, here's residence to the west.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Evans, why don't you explain the request?
Well, something just to, keep the, what is their old car, keep out of the weather a little bit. Just keep something out of, the stuff that protects it. So,
Okay, it's a carport.
yeah, not gonna be it, but, broken one side.
Okay, but it will be attached to that side of the garage. Okay. And why don't have any dimensions on the drawing? What's the
27 by 14.
okay, is the garage 27 foot deep?
It's garage just a hair longer.
Okay. And then it'd be 14 wide.
That way you get the car to fit under, otherwise being got.
And then you can still get the door open.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Looking at your roof line right there, it's kind of fall you have. It's not flat.
No, it's not flat.
It's not flat roof, so this has a pitch to it. Okay. And then we put concrete down, block.
Just rock.
Right, thank you.
And is that corner going to be a 90 degree? Some carports, they curve over the edge, but that looks like it'll be the roof and then 90 degrees down the wall. Okay, will you have a gutter there?
Yeah, we put the gutter there. Okay.
Okay, other questions? Land use? Okay, I don't know if you can pan that backwards, Melissa. Is there a stop sign or anything at that corner?
This is case number 23-52-E, petition by Paul Adams, request for a variance to allow construction location to be closer to residents to the east. This direction is north, this is north, and this direction is west, where residents.
No stop signs, that's just, an intersection. Okay. You see, oh, I see it, yeah, right under the green. Yeah. I see that now, okay. But the carport is not gonna extend any closer to the road than the current garage. You know, the front of the carport and the front of the garage will be the same plane. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's there. You can see the cell phones outside of it. I agree with that. Okay, other questions? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is that steel roof, asphalt shingling to match the roof of the house?
Steel roof. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Another question about the roof. I know it shows that it has some slope, but it's a fairly flat roof. Around here, we get some pretty heavy stones that you've done the design work on the roof to support the stone on this part of the roof.
I spec the whole roof.
Well, I hate to see you go to the expense of putting a roof up and then have it down on top of the car when you get a foot of snow.
Yes.
Uh,
Yep. Other questions?
One,
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, this is probably more for Jackie and anybody. Corner lot, so 50-foot setback from the front and 50-foot setback from the side. Is it correct?
That's correct, because he has two front yards on the corner.
Okay, other questions? Okay, closing comments? I'm good. Okay, thank you. You're excused. Okay, our last case tonight is also a variance 23-53-B. Carrie Bear is the petitioner requesting a variance to allow the construction of an accessory structure, which is a machine shed, to be 5 feet from the rear property line, which is 20 feet closer than what's allowed in the A1 Ag district. This is Class B variance, so zoning board has final authority. Carrie? Yep. Name and address.
Carrie Bear, sir, 59 Burbank. Beacon.
And you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self. Okay, health department, no record of a septic system, but see our comments in the packet. Soil and water and Farm Bureau has no comment. Tascona Highway Department and Dillon Township also had no comment. And so, video, this is the variant, so we don't have any findings of fact.
This is case number 23-53-B, petition by Terry Bear. Request for variance to allow building accessory structure to be closer than allowed in the A1 district. Relative A, this direction west. This is the dwelling on the property. To the rear of the property is the proposed location of the accessory structure. This direction is south on Brookmeyer Road. There's residence to the south. This direction is east. There's residence to the east. And this direction is north, Brookmeyer Road.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Kerry, why don't you explain your request tonight?
So my goal would be to build a machine shed at the very back of my lot. The machine shed I plan to build is actually a shed that is existing down by Elvin. I disassembled with the intent of reassembling it. It has a front and side door. The reason to ask for the variance is to push it towards the back of the lot to allow sufficient room for entrance and exit from both shed doors on the machine shed, as well as to get it out of the normal flow of water through the back of my lot.
Okay. Board members, questions? Yes.
So I'm looking at exhibit B, and I think the machine shed will be in the southwest corner of your site. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you farm the land adjacent to that? Do you farm this section of ground?
I do.
Okay. So if you're running a machine and you run into your machine shed, it's your problem, it's not somebody else's problem, correct?
Right.
I think what he's saying is make sure that the auger on the combine folded up before you make the first pass.
That's correct.
It's expensive.
Are you asking about the property to the west of me?
Yeah, so this property, you know,
Well,
we
that-
do west of it. Do you,
Yes.
do you farm that?
I do not farm
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay, other questions? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Baird, machine shed you're moving, how old was that structure?
It was originally built in 1977.
And how tall was side walls of that structure?
Down 13 foot.
All for your tractors and combine and everything.
My intent is to set it about 6 inches more than what it was. The floor was 13.6, and I'm hoping for about 14.
Thanks.
Okay, other questions? Yes.
I have a question for Carrie. If this don't go through, you have an alternate plan?
I haven't completely decided that. Probably would build it in compliance with setbacks, and I'll use it as well.
You'd have to give up one door or
Side door to white.
okay, on Exhibit B and Exhibit A, you call it a drainage tile. Is that like a waterway?
That is the normal flow of water. That's the lowest area through the back of the property.
Okay, so it's more of a draw.
It is.
Okay.
And there's also my perimeter tile for my house drains through that area as well.
Okay. Okay, other questions? Okay, now's your opportunity for closing comments.
I do have a question.
Okay, yeah.
I just noticed tonight in the comments about the pole departments, comments about the septic system.
Yes.
And I know they have a picture on file or drawing of what the septic system looks like, and I have verified that in the past. So I guess I don't, this shed's nowhere close to the septic seepage bed or anything. I'm just curious if there's anything there or what.
Well, it said in 2001, there was some kind of inspection, and it was noted that the tank might be illegally discharging in a field tile. And so I don't know, I'm gonna let Jackie explain that. They say a lot of different things there.
If you know that they have something more current on file, I would just contact them and verify that with them.
I don't think there's anything more current, but the pictures that they showed me back when I bought the house, that were involved with the septic inspection at the time, I assume it does match the drawing that they had.
And maybe that's all they need. They just didn't have verification that that was accurate.
And that could be, we'll verify that before you actually,
So,
speak to the building.
okay, yes,
I have a chance for one more question.
yes.
So kind of going back to the field to the west of you, as well as something like that. So you had a quick discussion with them, let them know that you're asking to put this machine shed close to the property line. So they're not surprised when they roll in there with a combine or field call later or whatever else they might put in there.
Yes, I had a conversation with him a couple weeks ago. I talked about the neighbors.
Okay, other questions? Okay, closing comments?
Little farming operation grows. I'm looking forward to more space. Had the opportunity to get a shed and it was nice to be able to put it up so I can use it to the fullest extent. So I appreciate your consideration.
Hey, you're excused. Okay, that was our last piece. That concludes the public portion of tonight's hearing. And so we're going to take a short break and then we will start deliberating on the cases that were presented tonight. And Simon doesn't say much.
All right, I'll send that in.
That's not going, there'll be enough separation. There's a way around. No, and if you come running across the street. Yeah. Okay. Not like she's provoking. All day. We took over the school we were last year. When she was in third grade and she got on and couldn't get off. So now I'm gonna put I like the one when she was riding with and he like let her go. She got in a little electric one was with a little bit speed. And then she got a Cooper. She's like, I need something faster. She couldn't get ready. And then she should Cooper out. Her face looks a little squishy there.
Okay, we're back in session with the deliberations part of tonight. First case is 2340S. I'm sorry, Irina and Michael are requesting a special use for no more than 6 chickens on a lot of 2 acres located in R1 residential district. Is there a motion to get this on the floor? Okay, moved by Coopy, seconded by Vaughn. Okay, we've got Gabe's findings of facts. He had the one negative, which was the side yard versus the backyard, but in the testimony, we learned that it was one of those rolling chicken coops that can be moved around. And so that solves that problem. What's the preference of the board?
Move to approve finding of fact.
Okay, Ball moves to approve the findings. Seconded by Bresnahan. Is there discussion? All in favor of the findings say aye. All opposed? The findings of fact are approved, and we will call the question on the special use.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Coopy,
Yes.
Baxley, Bresnahan,
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes. Motion passes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
It still passes because 4 votes.
I know. They know. Sorry about that.
She's still using old sheet. She hasn't even updated it with her name on it. Okay. Hey, this is deliberations. We can say whatever we want. Okay. Was it your fault or yours? Oh, I didn't understand. Okay. Case number 2, 2347S, Lamar Martin requested a special use to allow the operation of an ag-related business for selling skid steer and other farm attachments from an existing structure in an A1 district. Is there a motion to get this on the floor? Moved by Ball, seconded by Lapsley. Okay, we've got Gabe's findings of facts, which was 12 positive and 2 not applicable. He already had his equipment lot, White Rock, and in good order. The only thing we didn't ask, and I see it's in the application here, he had a sign. Does it meet the requirements? It said he had 1 4x8 sign. Is that the correct size? Okay. That's allowed in that situation. Okay. Because if you're going to have a business, you might want to have a sign advertising your business. Okay, what's the preference of the board?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Okay, this testimony, Mr. Mark said he didn't need any more than 1 acre.
Okay.
Is that correct?
He didn't anticipate that the actual size of the machinery footprint will not.
My concern is 10 acres.
Okay.
If it's too much, they can be limited to given 2 acres, not 10. He said he needed no more than 1 acre. I wanted to grow, but Is that fair?
Uh, That's, if that's, would you like to amend that to a 2 acre parcel?
If the rest of the board feels that way, like I do.
Well-
I'll go with that amendment, 2 acres.
Okay, we've got an amendment to, strike 10 and insert 2 acres.
He did say that. He said,
Right.
1 acre can be too much, so I'll give him 2 acres.
Okay,
If he needs more than that, he can come back.
is there a second to that amendment?
I'll second that.
Okay, we've got a second to the amendment, to strike 10 and insert 2 acres. Discussion on the amendment. Okay, what's your thought for seconding it?
I feel like Mr. Bresnahan does. Give him room to grow, but if he gonna outgrow that 2 acres, which is a lot of area to put skid steers and smaller utility tractors on, then he needs to come back and ask for that. At some point, the county's got to have a little bit of control of what's going on out there. I'm not saying that Mr. Martin would do it, but I know there's cases that we've had in this county where we tell them, okay, you've got 10 acres. Well, I'm only going to use this corner. Next thing you know, we got sprawl and stuff everywhere. And this is our way to control that.
Okay, another discussion on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Okay, we've got an amendment to strike 10 and insert 2, and it's been seconded and discussed. We'll take a voice vote on the amendment. All in favor of striking 10 and inserting 2, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. So the motion or the petition now reads 2 acre parcel. Okay? Other discussion on the petition as amended and the findings of facts. Is there a motion to accept Gabe's findings? Gabe, moved by Bresnahan, seconded by Coopy. To accept Gabe's findings, discussion on those findings. All in favor of the findings, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The findings of fact are approved, and then the petition will read 2 acre parcel instead of 10 acre parcel. Question for that motion. Call the question for that petition.
Coopy,
Yes.
Mayor. Yes. Maxley. Bresnahan.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Now you are on, that's my, and the other name. Long.
Yes. Keep that motion.
Not your next. Yeah.
She
Get
marked-
ready. If I
she marked
skip
your vote
yeah.
under my name. And that was an updated sheet. Fair was on that sheet. So.
Yeah.
Okay, next case. 2349S Madison Bollinger requesting a special use for no more than 6 chickens on a lot of 2 acres or less in an R1 district. Is there a motion to get this on the floor? Moved by Latch, seconded by Vaughn. This is the lady that had the nice shed with the 2 chickens in the back and then had the run behind the shed. Yes. We didn't ask if there was air conditioning in that shed. Okay, We've got the findings from Gabe, which were 11 positive, 3 not applicable. What's the preference of the board?
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you determine backyard here? I mean, first piece we did tonight, make sure the shed is in the backyard. How do you just do planning? So it doesn't necessarily have to be hidden.
We just don't want the shed next to the road. Okay. Other questions? Okay, back to the findings. Ball moves to approve Gabe's findings. Seconded by Bresnahan. Discussion on the findings of fact. All those in favor of approving the findings say aye. All opposed? Findings are approved and we will call the question. Okay,
Fair, pass.
abstain. Or
Lastly, Bresnahan,
yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Cooley,
Yes.
Cameron.
Yes. Yay. Okay, next case is 23-50-B variance. The petitioner is Shannon Wynn, requesting a variance to allow the construction of a 10-foot privacy fence beyond the building's setback line, which is a foot taller than what is allowed in an R1 low-density residential district. Is there a motion to get this case on the floor?
I'll motion to get this case.
Coopy,
Second.
seconded by Bresnahan. Okay, we're zoning, so we don't get in the middle of property disputes. Okay, and so the request is for a variance to allow the construction of a 10-foot privacy fence beyond the building setback line, which is 4 foot taller than what's allowed in an R1 district. And so my suggestion would be if you make a motion or an amendment that would say something to the effect of that it be 2 foot on his property line, on the inside of Mr. Wynn's property line, and state the number of feet back from his property line that he can start it, and the height, we can move forward. And then that way, if the fence is built and the person on the other side doesn't like it, it's his responsibility to take him to court or take legal action to figure out the property line. If we tell the petitioner you got to be 2 foot inside your property line, and he doesn't abide by that, then it's his thing. So that's one thought. There's another thought that was presented during the testimony of make them sit down and hash it out. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, and if we did have them sit down and hash them out, I would want Jackie there, and I don't want to put her in that position. No.
So, me telling them to put a 2 feet inside the property line, we're gonna end up with a 2 foot piece of property, a strip that's not maintained by either one, because if I'm a loggerheads with my neighbor,
You're not gonna mow that 2 foot.
I'm not gonna mow it. And it's just gonna grow up. Now, I don't know how the county, it may not make a difference, and certainly in town, it does make a difference. But I just have a lot of problems with this whole thing. At 10 foot high metal fence, I don't think people understand the wind load that could possibly
Yeah,
be
I
on
would call
that fence.
that too.
You know, I don't think a 4x4 with 2x4 hurts is gonna hold a whole lot of wind. And then, if you're on the south side of that, which the winds are, when that sun about middle of July gets reflected off that fence, it's gonna cook anything in that yard within several feet of that. Yeah. The heat that's gonna reflect off of that is gonna be tremendous. There are other ways to screen your property. One of them is to get some fast growing trees. If you want a fence, maybe we recommend a fence of lesser height, and then
Well,
they want to put
code
some,
allows 8 foot
yeah,
or 6 foot,
6 foot.
4 foot less.
But
He's asking for a 4 foot variance.
I don't even think that a 6 foot metal panel fence would be
No, I much rather have wood slab. I don't even think they want to look through the slats and see children on the other side.
Can I ask Becky a question?
Yes.
What would you be able to do without coming to the ZBA? What is permitted in the code? You can build a 6 foot fence all the way, you build that past building setback line or no?
Correct. So if he says at 25 feet from that red line we saw from his property, sets back 25 feet, then he can start the 6 foot fence up to the property.
all the way down to the lake. He just got to make sure it's on his property. That's half the battle here.
And they both had a survey, so it, sometimes we get here and one party hasn't had a survey, no one's had a survey, and then you guys will do it. And they both had a survey.
That's
And
been
one,
judged.
yeah, one party disputes the other party's survey.
Or an arbitrator or something.
Well, you think the person who's building, I mean, he's the one putting all the money into it, so he would, if you wanted, bring it to a quiet title, determine where that line is at. If he doesn't want to do that, then obviously he's building at his own risk. We tell him you have to be this far back from the line, but we're not going to tell him where the line is.
So the code says he can start 25 feet back from the line.
It says it can encroach on the right of way, right? Is that what it is, or is it?
With 4 foot and C. So if he wants a privacy style fence, he has to be 25 feet back from his front property line. And the problem here is that it's considered right of way by the definition of right of way, because there is an easement in place for access of all of those lots. So that's where we figure it's safe if you start at the property line, go ahead and take that 25 feet back, since the easement isn't definitive on the width.
Yes. Yes.
So there's been 3 surveys.
It appears that way. The original one, 1940 something, 41.
And 2008 and
23. That's for somebody besides zoning to figure out. Yes. And so,
According to the consensus, none of them are.
okay, this also being a variance, we have to come up with findings of fact. In hearing the description or the discussion, it might be in our best interest just to say, if you want a fence, you build it according to code and 25 foot back from the property line, and you can go all the way to the lake, and it can only be 6 foot tall.
You gotta meet the requirements for setback.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But it's not for us to say where the line is that the setback starts. And so remember this when we get into these situations where, oh yeah, I'm going to grant them an easement so they can get to that back there, and I always question them, and here it is, 3 property changes later, it comes back to bite somebody. So.
30 foot tall fence.
Okay, so what's your pleasure? Yes.
Just about fence, Mr. Chairman. No, right there, that's 10 feet.
Okay.
That's how small the fence will be. I have concerns of the lip load on this. They said 2 by 4. And you would have to go every 18 inches of 2 foot, 2 by 6, with a 6 by 6 planting ground. There's no.
I agree that the wind load on it is just too tremendous. Yeah.
Melissa's running 30-foot fence with these guys.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Ideas, thoughts? From what I'm gathering from discussion, his request is not necessarily viable. 10 foot's excessive, and I think the wind load. But
County code says what fence can be made out of. Can you make a fence out of metal fence?
You could do a privacy fence with the metal, yes.
6 foot, and just get a permit and do it, as long as it stays 25 foot back and.
As long as you meet all the other requirements, yes.
But with that construction, because that have to be constructed by 6 on that is ground, it's still a simple fence. There's a lot of window there. That's what I'm saying.
So fences are something that we report from.
There's no kind of inspection or anything on them.
Just the final inspection to ensure that they're placed.
There's a motion to deny this and send it and kind of on work, but to deny the variance request and then tell him to build it within the guidelines provided by the law.
Okay, what we would do is go through a couple findings that showed that his request was excessive, and we would approve some negative findings, and then we would take a vote on his petition, and if that's what you desire, you just vote no, that would decline his petition, and then when Jackie said, notified him, he would say, well, your petition was declined, but our code says you can do this without, under a permit, 25 foot back, 6 foot tall, and you can go all the way back to the lake if you want. And so rather than do a separate motion, it would just be negative findings, and then you would vote no on the petition.
That is, the permit code is subject to this action.
Yes.
So the findings of fact that you have to make for variances are at the front, those pages that are attached to the front of your folder.
Right.
What's titled variance findings of fact, it has 8 different factors. If you're thinking about developing some negative findings, you could go through there. In the past, we've kind of gone through them one at a time and briefly discussed whether each of these applies to the petitioner's request.
Okay, so number 2, the conditions upon which the petition for the variance are based are unique to the property for which the variance is sought. There's nothing unique about this property. It's not like there's a big hill that they gotta negotiate or anything. It's strictly for personal. I don't want to look at the neighbor. Right. Number 6, the circumstances or conditions are such that the strict application of the provisions would deprive the applicant of reasonable use of his or her property. No, he can still have a normal 6-foot fence as long as he follows all the setbacks. Granting the variance is the minimum adjustment necessary that makes it possible to reasonably use the land or structure. Well, that's definitely not the minimum. He wants the maximum and more. The plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. Well, there are unique circumstances that they're created by the petitioner and the neighbor. Yeah, self-inflicted. Okay, so there's the 4 major ones are negative. You got those down? Anybody else want to touch base on any of those others? I actually think a 10-foot fence would probably decrease the value of this property because any prospective buyers would say, what's wrong with the neighbor?
You mentioned number 4 about a monetary adequate supply of light rare for the people.
It does, the request would increase the danger because of the wind load on the fence.
Well, hey, cut down on airflow in that property too.
Yes.
To change the airflow.
Yes.
Like to the plants.
Right. Okay, we've got majority of the findings negative. Is there a motion to put those negative findings on the floor? Okay.
Second.
Ball moved and Bresnahan seconded. Any further discussion? So we're going to vote by a voice vote on the findings. So a yes vote means yes, I agree with the negative findings that we discussed. And no vote means no, I don't agree with the negative findings that we discussed. So for this, I don't want you to get confused on yay or nay. Okay, any other questions? All those in favor of the findings being negative, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, findings are approved. Now we're going to call the question on the petition. So we've got negative findings. So a yes vote means yes, he can build a 10-foot fence. A no vote means no, he cannot build a 10-foot fence. Okay, roll
Lapse,
call.
Bresnahan,
No.
Vaughn,
No.
Poopy,
No.
Fair, Chairman Left.
No.
Motion failed.
Okay, our next case is 2352B Paul Adams, variance to allow the construction of the carport to be 46 feet from the center of the road, which is 4 feet too close in an R1 district. Is there a motion to get this on the floor? Okay, Coopy moves. Latchley seconds. Yeah, this was where he was going to add the carport onto the side of the garage. Okay, this is also a variance, so we don't have any findings of fact. Discussion? He wanted to make it 14 foot. If he only made it 10 foot, we wouldn't have to be here. Yeah. You'd have to push the car in.
You can get the doors open.
Yeah,
Grandma shows you all.
okay.
You can do it. If you give a variance, things like that, even though it's just, I just think that it's our responsibility not to let these things pass. So instead of in a way that, so that everything works good, and for a while, it's just pushing in a position that you're not going to risk. It's one thing, and, man,
Okay, other discussion?
The other part is, I asked about snow roads, and I know somebody else talked about snow. A 14-foot span with, it looked like rafters were set about every 6 feet apart on the metal road. I worried about it even being able to carry a snow. Certainly not potentially will help, but
That's our dilemma, is that's more building code
I
than zoning.
understand that.
But we still need to
We need to, I think we need
be
to
conscious
consider
of it. Right. I don't know that building code has anything on the carports other than if you buy one of them prefab ones, you gotta make sure it's staked down.
No, he would have to submit building plans, and then those would be reviewed, and if he's not compliant with the structure that he's got, then he would have to reduce the size or increase the ramp.
as long as we got a middle control, I'm okay with that, because the next thing could be, well, how can you let it build that because wood's down on top of the car? I said, no.
Okay, so it would be under building plans and code.
So if we're making changes, there's some loss to him because he moved forward without having a proper permission place. It looks to me like he's got posts already set, more likely in concrete, so.
Yeah, it's in-house violation.
And I don't know how you figure those in-house violations are, I know we have several of them, like, that's what walk back on the language.
So this would be if the inspector was up there, or the code enforcement officer was up there, saw something in construction, looked it up in the system, and there's no evidence. And then we issued a notice violation for building out.
Or a neighbor that didn't like him or reported this. He built a fence on my side of the road. Okay. Other thoughts?
Eric, I have a question here.
Okay,
Put exhibit A.
Yep.
And he's got on the Liverpool Will Drive.
Yep.
On the edge of the lot to the street there, he's got 44 feet.
Right.
And on the side there, where the proposed carport is, he's got 46 feet. He's got all the distance. Right?
That's
Even the original turned in his application. That's what you're seeing now. And it's really that the zoning code goes to this one. So that's why we did that.
so is he 44 feet from the edge of the road? With the rim?
Yes.
So that would be, he's within code from Whippoorwill, because the center of the road would give him another 6 foot. Okay.
That's right. You say, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that part of the garage, I'm not sure the front porch on his house is, but that could have been done before code.
Right.
Because it appears the side, they got that front porch sticking out just a little bit.
But for our whole system,
Is no more or no less than other measurements. Is that the point you're trying to make? Okay.
46 feet. I mean, they're below. Where's the end? The edge there?
No, he's to the center.
That's the center. He's going to be 50 feet, correct?
So you're going to go through finding back for variance.
Right. Okay, I'm also looking at exhibit B. And the red line for the property, I assume when this was laid out, they left some extra between the property line and the edge of the road for future development.
That's always the case. The road, there may be 10 on either side.
Okay. But that doesn't affect the variance request.
No.
Because it's from the structure to the road.
To the center,
line.
Of the right of way, not
Right.
necessarily
Good.
defined right.
Okay, so we've got 2 thoughts. One discussion says, 10 foot's acceptable, he's within the limit. It's a corner lot, we don't need to congest that corner any more than necessary. And then we've also had discussion of, well, the request is similar to what the other setbacks are on the other side of his parcel. So, to narrow this down.
Kind of back up to the question.
Okay.
So in a rural subdivision, you're not worried about setback property lines, it's setback to the center line of the roadway.
No, that's because he has 2 front yards, so he has roads on 2 sides. But yes, there are
So
sides.
we measure everything off of the center line of the road, whereas it's a community, we measure off property, nothing to the road.
So if it were a corner, we would measure off the side of property. But because he has streets on 2 sides, we take the center line right away setback from anywhere that there's road involved. Otherwise, it would be the property.
I was just asking her about that. So we had a property, another property on that side of them. The setback would be 10 feet. Property. But since it's the road, it's the right of way. It's 50 feet.
We typically, you reserve those right of ways for future sidewalks, future road expansion, utilities, those type of things, that want to be set back
Okay. And so back to, we got two viewpoints discussed. And no motions, so. Oh, you decided. What's that? Oh, you decided where? I don't think the application says.
I can't feel like snow. The 10 feet, but I don't need variance, you have a nice day. It's a building. If you want to be short,
But yeah, in that case, you could go healthy. And
then he's 2 feet short, but that's better.
Where did you get the extra?
well, because if he's only 4 foot out of compliance, he shortens it.
Oh, my.
Yeah, shortens the width.
Yeah, but he would have to, right now he's proposing 14 feet wide. He would have to make it back to 10, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So typically it will come with a double permit fee, but since you had to apply for the case to prove that double permit fee. I wonder if the typical part.
I don't know what those, well, those prefab
Yeah.
ones you can get in 1 car or 2 car, but I don't know how wide they are.
Well, I parked my F-350 in one that's 10 feet wide. Both sides of it is like.
Right.
So we did.
It's just the roof. Yeah. And I didn't ask, and he didn't offer to say, well, I also need room for a lawnmower or a snow blower or anything, something like that.
You have to come up with a negative finding of fact.
Yes, same as the last case, you would come up with some negative findings of fact and then approve the negative findings and then vote yes on the negative findings. But then when it came time to vote on the 4 foot, you would vote no. But if he came in and said, well, I'm only going to build a 10 foot, Jackie would give him a permit, we wouldn't see it. So yeah, the findings. Well, I would think number 6 would be better. The circumstances or conditions are such that the strict application of the code would deprive the applicant reasonable use of his property. Well, a 10-foot carport is reasonable.
I agree.
Granting the variance, number 7, granting the variance is the minimum adjustment necessary that would make it possible for the reasonable use of his land. Well, that doesn't apply either because he could put an 8-foot carport on and put lawnmowers in it or whatever and still be within the code. Yeah. The only, and he didn't say, he just said it was an old car. I don't know any old cars that are excessively wide. You know, I mean, that would be like a tractor with duals on or something. 14 feet. Well, it is probably a little wider just because of the thing.
sit the king and make this very nice, we should have more money down on the other side.
Yeah. Okay, any other negative discussions? Number one is also the surrounding shape or topography of the specific property would result in a hardship and as distinguished from a mere inconvenience. Well, he indicated he wanted a convenience. He wanted 14 foot instead of 10. Okay, what's your thought on the negative findings as discussed? Okay, we've got a motion by Kupi to accept the negative findings as discussed. Is there a second? Seconded by Fair. You get your name in the minutes now. You get double paid when you get. Why do you think Bong makes all these motions? He
You get a bonus.
Okay, other discussion on the findings. Okay, this is like the last case. If you concur with these negative findings, your vote would be yes. If you don't concur with the negative findings, your vote would be no. So all in favor of the negative findings, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The negative findings are approved, and we will call the question. So a yes vote means he would get 14 feet as he asked. A no vote means no, you're not going to get 14 feet. Okay?
Bresnahan.
No.
Vaughn.
No.
Kubi.
No.
Fair. No. Lapsley. Chairman Lester.
No. You're the one who calls them? No, he can have a fence as long as he follows the code. As long as he follows the code. Okay, next case, last case. And I told my wife it was going to be a quick night, but I didn't realize we had a property. 2353 B Carry Bear variance to allow the construction of a machine shed to be 5 foot from the back property line, which is 20 foot closer than what's allowed. Is there a motion to get this on the floor? So moved. Okay, moved by Bresnahan, seconded by Ball. Seconds don't get extra. Okay, this is a variance. You heard the discussion and testimony. What's your thoughts?
We just took, urban plan, and it's before circuit runoff. Could be an issue if you put a shed like that. And also the tape. I don't know if it takes people in that point or not. It would just move it for the making of that. If my thought was if he was farming property adjacent to him, I probably wouldn't have a big issue with this. But because it's not, and I think you want to stick to the setback that are required because you have to open work. And they come around the corner with a piece of machinery.
What is the setback?
20 feet.
25 feet.
25 feet.
My combine over's not 25 foot.
No,
There
no,
are probably some combine overs.
but they're certain 5 feet. And, you know, a guy comes around there with a piece of tillage equipment, and got a young operator or old operator, they're hard to get out of fences. I don't know what they'd be like to get out of a machine shed if you not paying attention.
But that's trespassing.
If, well,
And so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's,
but accidents do happen.
yes,
And by letting him be that close, it could just be making it a whole lot worse. Maybe back him up 10 feet. You know, half the distance of the setback instead of just 5 feet. Give a little more room just in case.
Can you still move the machine or not?
Huh?
Can you still move the machine or
Well, that's a good question. You know, I understand he wants to put the door there so he can get machinery in and out on one side. But you got to look at the piece of property you got before you put up a machine shed.
any other discussion?
So it's not your proposal that it's going to be 20 foot closer. 10 foot closer.
I would like to see a little more setback than what he's got. Yeah. Or a different location. I see him take on the state. They're evidently something, I don't know if he's got livestock that he's raising that thing for himself or giving it away or selling it to somebody. I don't know.
So what is your concern that the auger will hit it?
Well,
Or-
just that it's so close to the property line, there is potential is there for farm machinery to get that are owned by somebody else on somebody else's property and get into that shed. Whereas if we have him move it, I guess to the east, another 5 feet.
All right, so the
Yeah, which exhibit are you on?
Okay.
Okay, so you're proposing move it east another 5 foot to
Another
make
5
the
feet.
setback 10 foot. Or your discussion is.
Yeah, that's my,
Second trying to draw.
I was just trying to see how close he would get to that water right now. That could change to the edge of what we consider the area was about
you got a pile of
10 to 13.
Is there a number there?
It's up here.
Oh,
Yeah, so if I just went to the corner, if we come in 10 feet from that west property line and then go over the 40 feet.
right.
Yeah. I was just trying to get a rough idea of what that would be.
Taking another 5 feet. Other discussion? Okay,
I thought I heard something said about perimeter tile. You just gotta drive over a perimeter tile to get to either door of the ditch. And you've got to lay it out.
There could be excavating, to move the shed to the east. Like he's saying. I mean, that tile, yes, he just put it in and all that. And there is a grill there, but that doesn't mean the zoning has to give a variance to this, and that is really close. And he can move it. It'll just be a little extra work. But once again, it's her responsibility. They're not getting things get out of hand. lots building next to somebody else's property.
If you can,
Okay, so what I'm hearing is discussion, and see if Todd wants to put it into a motion to change it from 5 foot to 10 foot. He moves to amend by striking 5 and inserting 10. Let me get them. Well, he said to move it east 5 foot, so it would be from the west line. Is there a second? Okay, Coopy seconds that amendment. Okay, so when the time comes, then your findings are going to be 10 foot's more acceptable than 5 foot for reasons you've already discussed, protect neighbors and way on.
Let's just say.
I forget what you.
That field moves to solar panel. Very likely. Earlier, hour earlier, a radio tower. His motion to move that forward another 5 feet gives you 10. They're not going to put their solar panels too close to the line.
Right, because they're state
So he's
setbacks,
protected a little better. I feel good about that.
and the neighbors are better protected. Okay, we've got a motion on the floor to amend by striking 5 and inserting 10. Any further discussion? All in favor of the amendment to strike 5 and insert 10, say aye. All opposed? Okay. The motion as amended is a 10 foot from the rear property line, which would be 10 foot closer than what is allowed. Okay, findings. As discussed, the 10 foot provides both the petitioner and the neighbors better safety buffer.
I think one thing we should get involved in, talk about drainage, surface drainage, we don't want to move things
On top of
on
it.
top of it.
Right. Okay. Any others?
Number 7, granting a variance to the north adjustment necessary.
Okay. So by tweaking it a little bit, it's still reasonable and still protects the neighbors. Okay. Any others? Okay. Yep. Okay. So these findings would be positive that just discussed and Jackie wrote down. Is there a motion to accept the findings as discussed? Okay, Baum moves. Seconded by Bresnahan. Further discussion on the findings? All those in favor of the findings say aye. Aye. All opposed? The findings are approved, and so the motion you're voting on has been amended, and it will read 10 instead of 5.
Baum,
Yes.
Kubi,
Yes.
Fair. Yes. Lapsley. Bresnahan.
Yes.
Chairman Russell.
Abstain. Dixman?
Final deadlines Friday. Two or four. Well. Yes, but, yes.